You may have heard of this little prayer, and it goes like this: God, give me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, and give me the courage to change the things that I can. And Lord, give me the wisdom to know the difference. We would be wise to listen to this prayer and to understand it and to apply it in our lives. You know, I hate giving up. I hate giving up. I always love a challenge, and I always love to do the impossible. But you know, there's no use pushing an immovable object. Some things just can't be changed. Like if your leg gets amputated, it doesn't matter how hard you try to grow a new leg. You might do all this online research about stem cells and about maybe this new thing that you could grow a leg. I mean, I don't think there's any stuff out there about that. But some things like not having a leg and learning to walk on a wooden leg, it can't be changed. And we must accept that. And if you don't accept it, sometimes you can get burnt out and frustrated trying to find the answer. Whereas we need to just accept it. But on the flip side, if you sit around and think that nothing can be done, you'll be lazy. You'll sit at home and you think, well, what's even the point of trying? And you'll give little effort, sit at home and eating Cheezos and watching TV. And that doesn't benefit you or anyone else. And it's not what God wants you to be either. So the real key to that little prayer is wisdom. The wisdom to know the difference. To know the difference of the things that we can change, and to know the things that we can't change and that we must accept and move on. You know, Paul the Apostle had an awesome attitude. You see, he had what was called in the Bible a thorn in the flesh. Now, we're not exactly sure what that was. Was it a physical ailment? Or maybe it was a mental ailment? Or maybe it's some of the things that he had done to people before when he was, when he was persecuting the people that believed in God before he changed. Maybe he had hang-ups about that. But whatever it was, he asked God and he prayed to God. He said, please, God, remove this thorn in the flesh out of my side. And he did it 3 times. And God's answer was like, no, Paul, I'm not going to take that away. My grace is sufficient for you. Paul had an awesome attitude. In fact, later on in one of his books, in one of his letters, he says, you know, I absolutely glory in tribulations. I love trials. I love tribulations. Why? Because I know they bring forth patience and hope, and they make you stronger and make you a better person. And those things that God, the trials that God brings to you in your life will make you a stronger person. Maybe we need to accept those trials, and maybe we need to be thankful for those hardships that God brings into our life. And maybe we just need to wait for that beautiful fruit that will become of it. When we have an affliction, an obstacle or a problem in our lives, let's do everything that we can. Use up all of our resources to solve, to overcome, and to solve that problem. But once we've absolutely exhausted every single resources, and then we've prayed about it and we've looked into it, if we can't solve that problem, maybe we need to accept it and to move on. You know, when we have a trial or tribulation, sometimes the knee-jerk reaction is to complain and to moan and to whinge to other people and to maybe even whinge to God. And all that moaning and whinging and complaining and crying doesn't get you anywhere. It's a big fat waste of time. You know, and I see it in my kids. Sometimes something terrible happens to them. They whinge and complain and whine, and I'm like, bud, there's nothing we can do about it. We just need to move on. Sometimes having no leg, the only thing we need to do is accept that we have to use a wooden leg from now on. We have to learn to accept on it and walk on it and move on. Let us learn and accept the life that God has given to us and the trials that we might face. And let us make the best of what we have right here, right now. You know, I have a belief, and it's not my own, it's from the scriptures. And it's that all things work together for good to those that love and believe in God. What a beautiful belief that is. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad or whatever happens in your life, that they actually all work for good. Every single one. The bad things, the good things, absolutely everything is working together to make you a better, stronger, and beautiful person. What a beautiful belief to have. And that's straight out of the Bible. They're God's words speaking to us. And if all things are working for good, let us accept each day and each trial and have courage and face those trials head on. And let us have courage to change the things that we can change, but to live in serenity and accept the things that we cannot change. And with this attitude, we can wake up each morning with a calm assurance and say what King David said, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." God bless, and I'll see you next time.